tomorrow will be better. The first and last terms of an AP are respectively 12 and 48. The sum of all these terms is 330. Find the common difference. Dear friends, 330 is not the sum of 12 and 48, but rather the sum of all the individual terms. When added together, they will give us 338. And the common difference they are asking for, be careful, it's not the difference between 12 and 48. It's the difference between each successive term in the arithmetic progression. Follow me, dear friends. Solution. Let's start by writing down the relevant formula which will lead us to our answer. There are two of them in this case. We have the first one, Sn, which equals n over 2 into L plus A, or A plus L. And there's the second one, Sn, which is n all over 2 into, this time around, 2A plus n minus 1 times D. Just to remind you that this is the D we are looking for. Now, why do we use this? I always tell my students there are so many formulas sometimes in mathematics and physics which we can use to arrive at the same answer. But which formula we use depends on what information we have, and most essentially what information we are looking for. In this first case, we have the sum of all the terms. We also have the first and the last term, but we do not have the number of terms in that series or in that progression. All right, so we need it. Why do we need it? We need it in order to use it in this second formula, which contains the D which we are looking for and has everything else which we already have, but for this D which we are looking for. All right, so pay attention, follow me systematically as I do it. Now, according to this first term, we have that Sn, which is 330, is going to be equal to n, which we do not have, all over 2, into the first term 12 plus the last term 48. Now, at this point, I will start here by simplifying the bracket, which here will give me 60. So, and I'm going to have that equals n all over 2 times 60. Now, if you correctly simplify this by simply cross multiplying first of all and then dividing both sides by this, if you cross multiply, you have 330 times 2, which is 660, into 60n. To find n at this point, dear friends, just divide both sides by 60, correct? Therefore, n is equals to 11. Friends, 11 is not the answer, dear friends. 11 is just the number of terms which this arithmetic progression has. How now do we find the common difference which we are looking for? We now exploit this answer and substitute it here to find D, to make D the subject. So once more, I would say, according to this second formula, the sum of the first 11 terms, now I can say n is, I can say 11 because I have found n to be 11. So the sum of these first 11 terms, which was found to be 330, is actually equal to 11 all over 2 into 2 times a. What is a? Let me write it down here. 2 times 12, a, which is 12, plus bracket open, n, which is once more 11, minus 1 times D, which you are looking for, and then you close the big parenthesis. So at this point, we just have to simplify it. However you want to simplify it is all up to you, dear friends. I will start by cross multiplying in order to do away with this denominator. So this means that this times this, which is going to give me once more. Now, what's inside the bracket? I have 11 into here. We have 24 plus 10D. Okay, so like I said, however you want to do it is all left to you. I can choose here either to expand or to start again by dividing by this to get rid of this. So I have 660 divided by 11 will be equal to 24 plus 10D. At this point, I send 24 to the left, so 660 divided by 11 minus, when it crosses, it becomes negative, is equal to 10D. And how do I find D at this point? I just divide both sides by 10. Whatever you get here divided by 10. And if you do it correctly, dear friends, D is going to turn out to be 3.6, dear friends. And this is the common difference of this arithmetic progression. This is because tomorrow will be better.